Hello everyone and welcome to the Magic Mirror. Today it's going to be about Godzilla that came out in 1954 in Japan, and I want to warn you guys, it's going to be spoilers from all of the movies again and some of the games actually, because as angry video game nerd, I was actually one of the children that were looking forward for a Godzilla game. And I know this sounds a little bit weird, but I just remember liking Godzilla a lot. Of course, there are the dinosaurs as well, the T-Rex and all of that good stuff, but Godzilla was just something really unique for me and something that I always had a good notion to, or how to say that, a good remembrance of. And of course, he also has his own roar and own particular sound and stuff like that. And as I said, all of these good movies, so maybe we will start with those. Actually, I will recommend, like I did with King Kong, that you watch all of the Godzilla movies, even the black and white ones, because some of them are really funny and some of them have more detailed information about Godzilla and the storylines and what is going on and stuff like that. So I will definitely recommend that you go and watch all of it if you have the time. Or else I would actually recommend the newer Godzilla movies. I actually do enjoy the Godzilla movies, all of them actually. So I know I might be a little biased here, but I really do think the latest one is really beautiful and it has great sounds. It has the look, the feel, the story and stuff like that that I expected from a Godzilla movie, or how to say that. And I feel the plotline have always been sort of kind of the same, with this lockdown of a nuclear plant and stuff going wrong, and then Godzilla is going to come and destroy the town or help the town in some cases. Yeah, it's not always easy to figure out if Godzilla is the good guy or the bad guy in these movies, but yeah, I particularly love the latest one, where he's more portrayed as a good guy, or helping, as far as we know. So yeah, I really like those storylines. There's also, of course, the Godzilla movie that everybody don't like, that I also feel it's okay. It has a good story as well. I think it's not executed that well, but I think the look of Godzilla and the action scenes and stuff like that in it is fine enough, so you can sit down and watch it with your family and have a good time. And the newer movie is more serious, something that is right up of your alley if you're into sort of drama and this looming presence, as Godzilla is supposed to be. I will recommend the newer movie more than I would recommend the other ones. Even though the black and white are really exceptional and really funny as well, and props to the guys there as well, because there's somebody in the Godzilla suit. So yeah, that's also a little bit insane. As I said with the King Kong movies, that must be hard and hard to be in those suits, but I really did enjoy all of the movies and all of the sounds and stuff like that. And I will recommend the animation that I did for the King Kong movie as well, because it's King Kong versus Godzilla. So I will put a link to that in the description down below as well. I know Godzilla also had a show, but I didn't watch that as a child, so I can't say that much about it. More I will recommend one of my friends, Omniviewer here, because he has a more things about Godzilla and toys and everything. He even has his own book. It's not about Godzilla, but yeah, I will put links to his channel down below, and recommend that you go and watch his stuff if you want to know more about Godzilla and the latest updates that there is with Godzilla. Actually, he made me come back because I had a long time where I didn't watch a lot of Godzilla stuff, and I was like, I guess burned out with the Godzilla things, but like he made me curious about it and dived right back into all of the Godzilla stuff, so that's good. I will recommend that. And of course, I will also recommend the Angry Video Game Nerd episode with the Godzilla games, because like I just get goosebumps every time he like plays the newer Godzilla games, and you feel so bad for him because like I actually been in his shoes, as I said in the start, and this is maybe something that you don't know about me. I like the old games, and I was waiting as Angry Video Game Nerd to get something good with Godzilla for the Sega Genesis that we actually bought, and I have tried the Sega Genesis Godzilla games, and I will agree with Angry Video Game Nerd here. Like the newer Godzilla games are just more beautiful, more detailed, have greater sound and better everything. So that was just a little bit like disheartening, or how to say that, to be waiting and finding like out that there was no good Godzilla games. But yeah, I will put a link to Angry Video Game Nerds episode down in below, and I'll show some gameplay of old Godzilla games to new games, and of course I'm also going to leave a link to them down below. I think like the both the Godzilla movies and the Godzilla games has beautiful music and beautiful sounds, and you instantly recognized Godzilla's voice or roar, as I said, like almost like the Donkey Kong, but there's just like something with Godzilla that makes it a little bit more what is that, memorable, because I know, like I said with King Kong, when I was younger I remembered his roar and stuff like that, but Godzilla also had this particular roar and sound and look to him, and of course there is the dangerous beam of lightning and fire and stuff like that he could breathe against his opponents. Sometimes it was made out of like the nuclear stuff, or how to say that. I don't know, like it's different for all of the Godzilla things out there. So there's a different representation of Godzilla, a lot of stuff to go into, and I know like there's a lot of fan stuff, as I said, and there's a lot of good stuff out there. I also did some drawings of Godzilla. I actually didn't ever had a Godzilla playing figure. I think I may have had like other figures and stuff like that, but Godzilla was just something that we wanted to, or I wanted to have as a game, so that was what I saved up for, to buying it as a game for my Sega, but or our Sega. But sadly, as I said, yeah, it was not good, and I remember us like trading it in for two other games. I think it was like Soleil and some other game we traded it in for, but in the old days, like, you could trade in stuff. Actually, I remember the game also being a little hard, and us not finding anything in the game magazines, because like everything came out in Japan first, so there was not that a lot of information and a lot of good stuff. And I do remember the same thing as Angry Video Game Nerd, being teased in the in the game comics, or how to say that, in the game magazines, and being like, oh geez, this is only going to come out in Japan. And some of the movies actually also only came out over there. But luckily for me, in Denmark we actually have reruns of old movies, and some of the movies that came out in Japan also came out like in the early stages in where I live. So yeah, I have actually seen some of the movies that I should not have been seeing, or how to say that. But I will recommend Godzilla for you guys, and that was actually all for this episode of The Magic Mirror. I hope that you liked it. I know, like, I can only talk about so much in this because I know there's a lot of Godzilla things, and I will keep what is in store for tomorrow as a surprise. So yeah, without further ado, do remember that inspiration is right around the corner. Do remember to take care of yourself and loved ones. And that was actually all. Yeah, okay, bye.